Hello and welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. Today we have Annie here with us. She's a holistic coach. And Annie, please introduce yourself and your business to our audience.
Hello, I am a holistic coach, Annie, as Tony said, and I focus on entrepreneurs. So I guide entrepreneurs who are probably going to hit a burnout or who are isolated or who want to avoid that. And I do that by helping them build proper connections with other people. So networking connections, actual friendships, and romantic connections, because entrepreneurs are a little bit isolated. 26.9% of entrepreneurs say that they actually feel isolated, and that is a big issue because it can lead to burnout, to depression, anxiety, and addictions. So I want to step in before that sort of stuff happens by going deep inside, helping you build real connections, first by getting to know yourself, by learning how to co-regulate, and then after that, all the pieces start falling together and businesses run more smoothly. There's better teamwork, there's better networking, and so on and so forth.
Brilliant. And so what inspired you to actually start this line of business?
So I used to be a French tutor, and I also absolutely adore psychology. Now, as a tutor, I would sometimes discover that psychology tricks work for my students. So the things that I was learning by reading books like Dr. Carl Gustav Jung, I read a lot of his books, and I've read also emotional intelligence books. I've read about dream analysis. I've read a lot about, I started to get interested in neurology as well. So everything that I was learning was actually helping with my students. And after a while, I also kind of got a little bit tired of teaching French, kind of wanted to switch to something else. Being a psychologist is a very, very long trip down university lane. And I actually am almost 50 and I don't want to spend 7 years. I was just imagining how old I was going to be when I left university. It's like at my age, I'm kind of like, okay, not sure I want to do the whole PhD thing all at once right now. So I just went for coaching. It is a heck of a lot faster. I have to make sure that I know what I'm doing. I have to make sure that I'm referring properly when people need to be referred. And as long as I do that and I stick to my own coaching stuff, I told myself, this is great. I'm just going to go down the coaching path because I can still help people the same way, just with different stuff than a psychologist.
Phenomenal. Okay, so in terms of the transformation that you help people with, obviously, what are some of the best results people can expect when they're working with you?
Okay, well, it's a whole different way of relating to people. So for one thing, some people have a fear of attachment because they don't want to be abandoned. Now, often that is unconscious. We don't realize it. And it's because we didn't have the proper type of attachment when we're children. So when you have a fear of abandonment, you either have a fear of getting too close. So some people mistake that for a fear of intimacy. And it's not that, it's a fear of abandonment, actually, because you get too close, then you risk losing the person, you risk getting hurt. So you back off or you do something to make the person go away. So it's trying to get rid of this fear if, like, by working on yourself, by learning how to co-regulate. And then after that, there's also the fear of losing the person, which is an actual, well, when the person is actually conscious that that's what it is, technically that person will become a little bit more clingy. They're going to grab a hold of the person a little too much and they're going to end up sometimes kind of stifling the person, stifling their individuality, or just making them feel like if they don't have any more freedom, right? So eventually the people start relating differently with themselves and with others. Now, this doesn't work just in relationships that are intimate. It can also work with businesses as well. Even if the type of intensity is not the same, obviously it's not at the same level, it's still kind of like the same types of dynamics that you can find with these people. It's just that they show up a little bit differently. Now, one of the things that I've noticed when it comes to business, instead of being the type that wants to stay away, back off from people because you fear abandonment, instead, you try to become the boss that's kind of like superior. You want to be the best dressed or the smartest of the room, or you want to be the owner of your business because you don't want people to tell you what to do. And that kind of like creates an uneven team dynamic because the others are not seen as equals. Even if you're the boss, others should still be equal to you. So this is one of the changes that you're going to see. Everybody else is going to feel like they belong as a team on an equal level. And that's a whole other dynamic. A boss is a leader, not an authority. So that is one of the things that change. On the other hand, people more like me who have a tendency of well, I had a tendency of being attracted to those who seek that admiration that I just explained, the ones who want to be above the others. So I used to have that. So I was kind of like I know, bootlicker a little bit, if you will. I know that term has a little bit of a negative connotation, but whether I like it or not, it's actually kind of how I acted. So I used to be the one who admires people too much. So I would put people on a pedestal and just literally make myself submit because of the way that I was raised as a kid. Now, instead, I have managed to develop a little bit more of an equal footing with other people. And some of the things that I've done is to learn for myself. Anyways, it was to learn how to set boundaries, learn how to negotiate properly, learn how to communicate my emotions better, and also learn how to spot those who are not going to want me to be equal. Yeah, you kind of like start to notice the red flags. I'm sure doing podcasts like you do, you probably heard the term red flag repeatedly, right? So you spot them and you start to try to train people through boundaries how to relate to yourself. Now, I also learned how to relate to myself as well, because obviously this also takes a lot of learning how to love who I am for my authentic self instead of for the performance that I was putting on. Submission is as much performance as those who are workaholics. So
Definitely. So one of the main questions here as well, I want to ask you, what inspires you about your business?
oh, the changes that I see is definitely my main inspiration. As soon as people starts to click, they start to understand what their limiting beliefs are, why they are the way that they are, and start clearing out the emotional wounds that they have. That just makes me feel like my whole job, like the whole path that I took to get down here, the struggles that I've had and everything are all worth it. Believe me, it's such a joy to see people improve before your eyes. I love it.
Wonderful, wonderful. And if people want to actually get in touch with you, learn more about you, connect to you, how they can do that?
Okay, they can find me on LinkedIn. I use my full name. My name is Annie Carbonneau. And well, you'll see my face. um, if they want to connect with me by email, the easiest email to use is dream analysis in one word, because I also do dream analysis as well as part of my coaching. It's one of my tools. So the email is dreamanalysis@mail.com. So just make sure it is mail and not Gmail. Dreamanalysis@mail.com.
Fantastic. Yeah, we can include the links and the email into the description of this episode so anyone watching us can check that out. On top of that, if you have any questions for Annie or me, you can ask them in the description, in the comments, and we'll be more than happy to answer them. Annie, thanks a lot for being a guest today. That was lovely to hear your story, to hear your suggestions, and also the transformation that you do for your clients. Sounds phenomenal. And yeah, so see you all in the next episode. All the best, and bye bye.
Thank you, Tony.